is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys have an amazing day so far. Like always, if you're new to the channel, I want you guys to hit the thumbs up, and only if I brought value to you guys through this video, when you end the video, I want you guys to hit the subscribe icon. For today's gameplay, I want to talk to you guys about 7 tips to become a better Bloodhound player. Now, this is mostly related to pubs gameplay, but could be obviously used into rank gameplay. Bloodhound has been getting quite a bit of buff ever since season 5 and 6ish, and honestly, he has become one of the most used champions so far within Apex Legend. So if you're looking to main Bloodhound or even simply becoming a better Bloodhound player, these are the tips that are potentially going to help you guys become a better Bloodhound. Number 1. Be cautious when you use your ability. The reason why is because each time you use your ability, you're ultimately giving your position away. So the only reason why I would suggest for you to use your ability is ultimately because you already know, or you're getting closer to enemy footprints, or simply because you hear enemy nearby, within a building that's nearby, or simply just in your general surrounding area. So as soon as you start pinging, you're going to be pinging in a specific direction. So as soon as you do that, if you don't actually hit anybody, you're ultimately giving your position away, because the enemy might not know where you are quite yet. They just hear your footsteps and think is you hear them. So by doing that, you ultimately give yourself exposed, and you still don't know how many enemies there are or even where they are. So at that point, you're pretty much exposing yourself and your entire team to being ambushed in a sense. So be very tactical on how to use your ability, when to use it, and ultimately ping the direction of the sound is coming from. Number 2. When chasing an enemy footprints, make sure you actually ping those footsteps. Don't ping every single one of them, because they could get annoying to your teammates that you're pinging every single footprints. But let your teammate know that you are chasing somebody down, and don't just run down a rabbit hole, ultimately expecting your team to just follow you, because chances are most of the time they just kind of break off and kind of loot on their own, not knowing that enemies are potentially nearby. So make sure too that you actually communicate with your team and letting them know there is footprints and how long they actually been. If they are within a minute, obviously you might have to do a certain moving around and having to pick up the pace in a sense. But if they are less than 10 seconds, you know the enemies are extremely close to you. So it's very good for you to ultimately communicate with your team, letting them know enemies are very close. So if you have a microphone, let your team know, hey, the footprints are about 10 minutes or 10 seconds fresh, so be careful if somebody's nearby. So that will actually prevent you from getting ambushed or even third party from anything angle as well. So be very strategic when it comes to chasing people down, and don't just put your head down and chase somebody down. Be very strategic, communicate with your team, and it's all about being communicated. 3. Be aware of your surroundings. So this is kind of touches on to number 2 as well, but it is kind of something that needs to be brought up, because a lot of Bloodhound tend to just chase people down and not really pay attention to the surrounding, leading their entire team to a full-on ambush. So be very careful, because chances are if you are chasing somebody down and you like about 10 seconds or even 20 seconds away from the enemy, your enemy already hears your footsteps coming. So before you even get there, chances are the enemy is already waiting for you. So be very aware of your surrounding. Let your teammate know where they are, or ultimately potentially how long the footsteps are, so like that you can communicate properly and your team can prepare accordingly, so they don't just get openly ambushed in the open field, but rather can actually look for cover. Number 4. Use your ult before getting into a fight. By doing so, you can actually see the enemy ahead of time and potentially position yourself in a better way, that you have an angle over the enemy and they don't so much have an angle over you. So by doing so, you also allow for yourself from not having that loud burst of ulting, and ultimately your enemies don't know that you're quite rushing yet. Obviously they can hear you ult sound, and they can hear the Bloodhound rushing, but they don't know which direction you're coming from, unless obviously you ping. But if you are ulting, ult a little bit ahead, so like that the enemies don't know that you're coming in to third party them. So it gives you an edge over them. Ultimately you can position yourself in a better way, and letting your team as well allow them for you to ping every 5 seconds on top of that, allow for you to dictate where everyone is at and be able to third party the enemy even better. Number 5. Use your ult to counter caustic gas and bank smoke. The reason why Bloodhound has become such a powerful champion is because he has the ability to see to smoke and ultimately to cast a gas. If you are fighting within a building or even fighting somewhere where a Bang uses her smoke to cover her runway or even her teammates, it is your advantage to ultimately ult, because at that point obviously you can give yourself the ability to see the smoke or through the smoke, but you also give yourself 5-second pings in order for you to give the enemy position to your allies as well, in order for them to be able to shoot through the smoke. At that point it gives the Bang and her teammates a super disadvantage because they cannot see you, but you guys can openly shoot through the smoke and actually hit every single one of your targets. So this is why using a smoke to counter a caustic gas or even counter a Bang is extremely important when it comes to rank gameplay or even pub gameplay. Number 6. Use Bloodhound in lower elo rank games in order for you to gain more RP. Now, this is something that has been brought up quite a bit in multiple other YouTube videos as well. Not from me in particular, but from other YouTubers, where Bloodhound has become one of the top champions to use for rank. Specifically, if you are within bronze or silver, that is possibly one of the best way for you to rank up. Because whenever you are within bronze or silver, you should be going for kills, and you should be going for, not so much positioning. You shouldn't be worried too much about that. But we highly suggest that you go for the most kills that you can potentially get, and the most assists that you can potentially get. And Bloodhound is ultimately one of the best champion in order for you to even get assist RP. That means that you can honestly just ping somebody, not even have to shoot him at all. You can be in a completely different spot, and you can ultimately get RP by just having the ping, and then your teammates to be able to finish that individual. So if you find players like me or other players that can ultimately carry you in a game, you can just ultimately ping for them, and they will ultimately give you RP. So this is one way to go if you want to rank up. It'll be easier for you within the rank system. Now, if you don't use them within the ranking, you just want to use pubs, that is perfectly fine. You will still get assisting points, which means that that you're still going to get additional experience towards your level. So that's one way to look at it in the positive aspect of him. Number 7, be aggressive and be at the front line. Now, Bloodhound is not a super aggressive champion, mostly because his ability doesn't give him too much of an edge in order for him to get away from the enemy. However, he is a super potential leader in a sense for you to become the front line of your team. So if you're able to mark the enemy and ultimately you are chasing footprints, there should be no reason why you should not be chasing down or be at the front of the your squads. Now, if you do have an Octane, chances are he will be the one leading you, but obviously you need to ping ahead of time, letting him know, hey, he is chasing an enemy team down, and they may potentially know where they're gonna be at. So that is something that why I say Bloodhound has to be one of the very middle-like to the front line of the squad. So if you are playing Bloodhound and you are trying to main Bloodhound, unless you have an Octane in your team, you should be at the front line at all time. Alright guys, this is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if there's anything that I have forgotten through this video, or if there's anything that should be added to this video, make sure to go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, what I should add ultimately, and really what you guys might do differently if you are a Bloodhound main, or even if there's something that I have forgotten to say. Now, Bloodhound is an extremely essential champion, and I really do believe that he's one of the best champions right now, specifically for the meta that we're going towards at this point. So if you are a Bloodhound main and you're just trying to get better, and you have any sort of advice or anything you would like to see as well, make sure to go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, and kind of just give me any sort of criticism or just positive feedback that you have. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe icon, hit the like. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
I took an enemy's life. Recharging my shields.
Recharging my shield.
Reloading.
They spotted me. I'm down the shot. I'm down.
Taking a moment to recharge my shields.
Enemy right here.
Just hold.
1 minute.
I'm down.
Taking a moment to recharge my shields.
Enemy that way. Contact with target.
Not far from me. Time benefits. Eyes up. Grenade. Copy. Half a minute. The ring is near to me. Recharging my shields.
I had to reload myself.
Mellow TH says,
GG.
GG.